Okay, today I'm going to be installing a floating shelf. First floating shelf I've ever done, and first video on my channel, Atlantic Adventures TV. We'll see how it goes. First time using a GoPro as well, so let's just see, get things set up. Alright, so what I'm doing is I just made this, had a piece of wood, nice piece of wood that I found in my grandfather's barn that was really old and dry. Just put it through the planer and put a little bit of stain on it and sanded it, and this is what I came up with. So this is what I'm going to be trying to put on the wall as a floating shelf. The method I'm going to use is, I did the first one already just to see how it was going to go, and I'll show you how I did that. So I figured out the height, got my laser level set up, makes it a lot easier. And what this is just half inch threaded rod. And this threaded rod is 7 inches long. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill 2 inches into the wall. So this will go a half inch and a half into the stud, and then the half inch of drywall, which leaves me 5 inches sticking out. And that 5 inches sticking out right here is going to go into the shelf when I drill holes in the shelf. And I'm doing, so what we're going to do next is find the stud. So I have a really old stud finder here, but it works. I think I'm going to come across the wall. There's the edge. I have to make sure we get this right in the center. There's the edge of the stud. Keep going across, and there's the other edge. So right about here would be the center. That should be the center of the stud. Now what I did is I'm using a 7/16 drill bit. 7/16 drill bit, and I marked here with a piece of tape. So I made a jig with my drill press because I have nothing, I don't have a tool to keep this level, and I'm drilling this by hand. So this is the jig I made with the drill press, and I just drilled it so that when this is held against the wall, this will guide me straight. Seemed to work okay with this one, so we'll give it a go. First, I have to get my jig in place. How I do that, there's my mark. I'm going to line that up, center the hole horizontally with my laser, and if I use my flashlight, I can see the other line. So vertically, I'm going to line that line I drew with my pencil in the center of my hole that I'm using for to hold my drill straight, and the laser level is now centered horizontally. So I should be able to take my drill now by holding that against the wall tight and drill that in. This will hold my drill bit straight. Okay, hopefully that worked. And what I did that I mightn't have told, I don't think I said yet, is, well, I did talk about it a bit, but I marked that with tape so I knew how far to go in with the drill bit. When the tape hits there, I know that's 2 inches into the inch and a half in the stud, and then the drill through the drywall as well, so 2 inches total. Now if I can get that back out. Well, hopefully that works. Now I took the threaded rod I cut, the 7-inch threaded rod, and I ground the end down just up to a little bit of a point. I thought that might help me get it started a bit better. And I've got 2 nuts on here, which I'm going to lock together. And by locking those together, I can use my wrench to thread in this threaded rod into the stud. get started. Now we're getting into the wood now. The good thing about the laser level is I can use it to kind of guide this to get it going straight. And I can see that it's so like that. Once it gets into the meat of this wood, it should self-level anyway, and it looks like it is. Looks like that's pretty good. Put it all the way in now. It's getting tight, so let's check. All right, 4 3/4 inches. I went a little further, but that won't matter. Okay, so let's take these nuts off now. Check for squareness. Let's see, it's almost perfect. Almost perfect. Okay, that's it. So that's how I installed the 2 pieces of 1/2-inch threaded rod, which are going nowhere. Next, we'll have to drill this straight with a hand drill, so that's my next challenge. But first, we'll mark it. Okay, let's get this. This is the front. That's about where we're gonna want it. Just for fun, let's see how level that is. It's perfect, perfect. And let's check it out this way. Oh, it worked really good. So yeah, all I did was use a drill press with a square piece of wood and made sure it was perfectly at right angles and drilled my pilot holes, and this is what I used to guide my drill bit. It seemed to work good. Okay, next we want to see where the shelf has to go, and I think this is about where we want it. And we're going to be drilling from the back. This is the top. So let's flip it up on its end. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark it right in the center. And I think that's pretty close to the center. And this one, same thing. It's a little dark in here. I need my flashlight. I would say center. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll transfer those marks to the back where we have to drill from. second mark. Just holding it to the mark I had already made. There we go. Now we'll have to find the center here and then get our drill and drill. Now the next step in putting up the shelf is the part I'm a little more stressed at. I haven't done this before. This is just what I'm thinking. So the same jig I made to drill straight into the wall, I drilled it, that was with a 7/16 drill bit, so I could tap this into this wood stud, tap the threaded rod into the wood stud of the wall. I did another hole with the drill press, a 1/2 inch clearance, so I can shove this shelf onto those studs. Now, what I did, so this piece of wood is 1 3/8. So half of that is 11/8. So I set my square up to 11/8 and I put a mark center of the stud, which tees the line that I put to mark these threaded rods. So, and if I do it from the same side of the shelf, if I'm off a 16th or whatever, they will at least be level. So I'm going to do it from the same side and mark it on this one, so it tees the other mark I had already hit on there to mark the threaded rod. So now that's on and that's on, and they do look very close to center anyway. Okay, now what I'm going to do is use my flashlight again and my jig, and let's get the flashlight. I'm going to find that mark through my hole I made, and I'm going to eyeball and center it. Okay. This is not easy to do. There's probably an easier way to do this. But I'd say that looks pretty good right there. Now that I have that, I want to clamp it tight. What this will do is hold my jig I made in place and hopefully hold it flat against too, so it doesn't wiggle when I'm drilling in. So the two flat sides are completely pressed against each other. Now let's double check our mark. And I'd say it's pretty good. Now what I'm also going to do is I want to get it the same on that side. I don't know if this will do anything, but I'm going to mark this. I'm going to mark it on both sides. And when I put it on for the other hole, at least I'll be the same this way, I hope. This way here, so it's level. In case I am off with my eyes a bit here. Alright, now let's put the 1/2 inch bit in the drill. Now here's the stressful part. Now I'm going to want to go in, I said 5 inches, which, let's get the tape measure. Let's see how far down that puts me. I have it. That's only 3. So I just going to use this to get it started, get it straight, and then I'll use my longer bit to finish it off. Just doing a double check one more time. Looks good. I'd like to put another clamp on there just in case. Just in case. See if I can hold that a little bit tighter. Of course, that clamp is pretty long. The other ones are too short. This one's too long. We'll try it here. It may be in my way. All right, let's see what happens. Just gonna go slow. That's it for that drill bit. Which isn't quite far enough. So I'm down 5 inches. Because I want that threaded rod 6 out 5 inches. I'm going to go a little more than 5 inches, just so, put a ½ inch more, just so the threaded rod doesn't keep my shelf from going completely against the wall, in case there'd be a little bit of junk in there that I didn't get out. This should do it here. So, let's double check it. That's it. Now if I drill down till the tape touches the top, should be okay. That should be it. All right, just going to repeat this process on the other side, and we'll get back to you. Okay, so I drilled the hole back here, and then I took that same jig I made, moved it forward to where I want the other hole, and I lined up the lines underneath that I drew when it was back here, just to keep it this way exactly the same. And then I eyeballed the center of the line that marks the center of the threaded rod, which should be very close. But this, if I was off a bit back and forth this way, back here, at least by drawing the lines, should keep it the same. So I got the lines lined up exactly the same, and then I centered it, that hole, the threaded rod hole. And let's give it another drill. With this drill first, because the reason I'm using these drills is because they're a lot flatter, and they hold in the hole a lot tighter to get my hole started straight. Just figured that would be easier. So here we go. I'm just going a little bit. I don't want to force it, and back it out to clean the hole out. For that bit. that bit is all the way in. So now we'll use the longer bit to finish it off to get my 5 inches in there so I can push it onto that threaded rod. Alright, tape should mark the 5-inch mark. Still, I didn't change it. 5.5 and give myself a bit of clearance. Alright, let's see what happens. Same thing, I'm not forcing it. Clean the hole in a little bit as I go. That should be it. Let's hope that works. Alright, take this off. Take this clamp off. My jig I made. Now, we want to blow those holes out of this. So let's get rid of this. Make sure they're cleaned out. Should use a, if I had an air compressor I would, but right now I don't. Alright, let's see what happens. We might need something to pound it on or push it on. Let's get this workmate out of my way first. Alright. This is the front, the top. There we go. Solid as anything. First time I put a shelf up like that. Oh, hope you got that angle. You probably didn't. Nope, you didn't. Shoot. Anyway, I pushed it on. I had the camera at the wrong angle, but I lined up the threaded rod with my holes. And it was nice and tight. I had to push it really hard, bang it on. And now it's against the wall. Let's check for level. Pretty much perfect level that way. And pretty good that way. Can also check with my square because I didn't do it level, I did it with the wall. And yep. I'm pretty happy with that. Because I'm going to do it all by hand with a homemade jig I made with a drill press. And yeah, that's it. So the finished product is there. I think it looks pretty good. And it's strong. That 1/2-inch rod is not bending. It's only 7 inches long. I mean, I can pull down and it doesn't budge at all. It is strong. And if I ever want to take it off, I could take it off and fill the holes and it'd be gone. Yep. Thank you very much for watching. Atlantic Adventure TV, the first of many to come. Thank you very much. Bye.